Hello and welcome to LeedsHacks News. I'm Susanna Rogerson.
And I'm Lauren Halligan. Here are today's headlines. Asda employees protest over a change in contracts.
Co-housing is becoming the new trend in Leeds, following an increase in rent prices.
And the Tour de Yorkshire is breaking through the glass ceiling.
Asda shop workers have been protesting outside the supermarket's headquarters in Leeds. The rows over a new contract that's being imposed on more than 60,000 employees.
Workers have been warned that they are at risk of losing their jobs if they refuse to sign the new contract. Georgia Dosis reports.
We are here outside of Asda House Leeds on International Workers' Day, where workers have gathered around to protest Contract 6 at Asda. Asda executives have announced that Contract 6 will now be an involuntary contract, meaning that it will affect 66,000 employees across the country. Although the contract change will mean that their wage will be increased to £9 per hour, it will also mean that they're forced to work on bank holidays. They will also not have their breaks paid for.
Asda are trying to impose a contract change on 68,000 members of staff. As you can see from the protests, members don't want it, staff don't want it, and we're here today to tell Asda we don't want it. Very positive about today. It's the first time a lot of Asda staff have been on such a thing, but that's how passionate they don't want this contract.
An Asda spokesperson said, "We are currently consulting with our colleagues and their representatives over a proposal to invest in an increased rate of pay and changes to terms and conditions, which would enable us to deliver better service to our customers in an intensely competitive marketplace and would make 95% of our colleagues financially better off." Despite the pay rise, workers are clearly not impressed with the repercussions. Georgia Dosis, LeedsHacks News.
New housing schemes are helping people in Leeds to beat the city's rent hikes. Co-housing is a new way of living in which residents not only share properties, but also food, gardens and childcare. Katie Garrett visited a local scheme to find out more.
The cost of rent is constantly on the rise, with Leeds being no exception, as rental prices increased 1.6% from last year's average. With cost of living on the rise, people are finding cheaper ways in which they are able to live within Leeds. Community housing is a new scheme that has been introduced to help house people who are unable to afford the rental prices in Leeds, like the Lilac project behind me.
Here at Lilac we've got this quite pioneering financing model. So the whole scheme is owned by a cooperative, and then as members we own shares in the cooperative, and the number of shares you own is related to the size of the property that you live in, but also your earnings as well. So there's kind of like an income related aspect to it. And the point of that is to make all of these homes equally affordable to everyone that lives here. So I joined Lilac because I was really interested in low energy buildings and eco housing. I didn't have a lot of money, so the affordability aspect of it really appealed to me. And I wasn't prepared for how important the community aspect of it has become to me.
Chapel Town is an up-and-coming community housing project. As you can see behind me, it's currently a building site, but hopefully in a year's time it'll be just like the Lilac project, a fully built complex.
Hoping to build about 33 spaces for people to live in, ranging from shared house and to 4-bed houses with a common house. It's been very popular in Denmark, where people realised that it was brilliant to be able to share childcare when you have different ages living together, people coming home from work, people share meals, we'll have a shared laundry, we're going to share gardening space and share each other's skills.
With more and more of these projects in the making throughout Leeds, is this something that we can see more of in the future? I'm Katie Garrett reporting for LeedsHacks.
Local elections are underway in Leeds today. Churches and education centres across the city have been taken over to become polling stations. With issues such as Brexit keeping central government busy, it's important to remember to vote for your local representatives too. Polling stations are open until 10 p.m. today, so go vote. It's one of the sporting events of the year. The Tour de Yorkshire gets underway today, and this year the event is racing ahead in gender equality.
Welcome to Yorkshire have announced that women will compete at the same distance, the same difficulty and for the same prize money as men in the race. Eliza Laban has more.
The Tour de Yorkshire cyclists are setting off from Doncaster today on the first leg of the race. This year, many changes are being made to the way women compete. For the first time ever, women's races are going to be the exact same length and difficulty as men's, and the prize money is going to be the exact same as well.
So when I first came into cycling, it was kind of on the upward curve, and obviously we all talk about the success of the Great Britain cycling team as being that kind of point that people realised that how amazing cycling was as a sport. We have seen the races develop. We now have an equal national series field, or series of races, so the men's national road series, the women's national road series. We have circuit race series for men and women. I was part of a working group that made sure that that was set up this year and not next year, because that can sometimes happen that we talk about doing something and we put it off. So let's do it. We need to do it right now so we can show that we're working towards that.
This is action that female athletes have been fighting for a really long time, and is a huge focus for the Welcome to Yorkshire team this year.
It's very important. We've said from day one, and ASDA matched our ambition, that women's sport in the UK, women's cycling is very important. It's always been our ambition and our desire, and we've made it happen, that it's equality, as you say, the same prize money, the same media coverage, the same course this year, so it's 264 kilometres, 3,200 metres of climbing. As Christine has said, it's a fantastic world-class team.
Catch the cyclists cross the finish line on Sunday here in Leeds. I'm Eliza Laban reporting for LeedsHacks News.
The first direct arena in Leeds is approaching its 6th birthday.
Since the venue became one of the city's landmarks, it's played host to some global superstars, with the likes of Bruce Springsteen and Noel Gallagher taking to the stage. Our reporter Ollie Wood went to find out why the arena is so key to the city.
Long overdue, the arena is now making the desired impact on this growing city. Behind the scenes, a lot of work has been done to ensure its success.
This venue was 20 years in the waiting. We had Manchester, Sheffield and Newcastle all seemed to get theirs. The Leeds we were waiting for a long time. When it eventually arrived, with some of the big names that have been here, it's just been a huge impact. The city have wanted live music and live entertainment for a long time, and to open with Bruce Springsteen and get off to a really big, bold start. From there, we just had success. I think the city as a whole is benefiting from it, and we're going through a great growth period for the city. We're one part of that, but I think our part of the show. We do a travel survey every year, and we have noticed year on year that more people are coming to the city, staying in hotels and using the public transport in the city. We have certain criteria that we need to hit for public transport, people not coming by cars. We're hitting those numbers quite comfortably, and a lot of people are coming into the city using the hotels, and hopefully that's going to have an economic impact throughout the region.
Attracting some of the biggest stars like George Ezra, Shawn Mendes and Prince, it's added a new dimension to the city, making it a real asset. Hollywood, reporting for LeedsHacks News.
Season 8 of Game of Thrones kicked into action this week, with the Battle of Winterfell having the highest viewing figures of any episode in the series. It's also prompted a huge amount of social media, with keen fans posting about their obsession. But are some Game of Thrones viewers in danger of becoming addicted to the programme? Alex Armistead has been finding out more.
Game of Thrones is one of the most popular programmes on television, and the recent episode is predicted to be one of the most watched episodes ever. Despite its success, addiction to TV series is on the rise, and binge watching is a growing problem among students.
I mean, I would say for a few years it's been like a big part of my life, from when I started watching the show to reading all the books. And I would say from it got to the point where I was caught up enough with the show, I've always like watched every episode as soon as it's released. And like I do stay up a lot, like because obviously when it's airing in America it's at 2 AM in England. So I do wait up till like 2 AM in the morning to watch it, so I don't like risk getting it spoiled. So I would say that it's like quite a big part of my life at this point now.
So I think there's a lot of overlap between rewarding behaviours like binge watching TV series and behavioural addictions like gambling. I think the main thing that probably parallels the two is the fact that they're both rewarding. So there's an element of instant gratification, particularly with binge watching. You can kind of hit the next show straight away, which really links to addiction, this idea of immediate gratification over delayed, greater reward. I guess it comes down to the definition of what addiction is. So one of the key things that defines addiction, in addition to repetitive behaviour and craving to engage in that behaviour and possibly negative mood when you're not engaging in that behaviour. One of the key things that defines addiction in the DSM is that that behaviour has a significant negative impact on your life, either your life personally or those around you. And that's one of the main things that distinguishes at present something like watching Game of Thrones all night compared to something like heroin addiction.
Despite being one of the most successful shows ever, it seems that Game of Thrones is causing more problems than ever before. It really does seem that winter is coming. Alex Armitstead reporting for LeedsHacks.
So who do you think will win the Iron Throne, Lauren?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm rooting for John and Danny. From all of us at LeedsHacks News, I'm Lauren Halligan.
And I'm Susanna Rogerson. Thank you.
And goodbye.